This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yeah, you know what? Josh Hader made you sweat it out a little bit there in the ninth inning. But for a man that has been as good as he has been this season, he has, well, not a lot of reason to doubt him based on the way that he has performed this season. And all that matters is that the Astros figure out a way to get the victory tonight over the Chicago White Sox. And on top of that, of course, secure the series victory with the win tonight. And that is all that matters. There's some good and some bad that comes from this one. Framber Valdez had a very odd outing. And we'll take a look at the Twin Series as well, all tonight here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Thank you for joining us. I am, he said easily, of course, your host, Michael Connor. If you're watching us live, we appreciate that. If you're watching later on, we also appreciate that. And if you're listening in the audio feed, we really appreciate you there. That is exactly where you should be. When you're not watching the show, you can always catch this show anywhere that you get your podcast. Search for Locked On Astros. Tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. All right, what is it that you're walking away from in this one talking about more than anything else?
This is what you'll be talking about.
There's actually a lot of little things from this game that I wanted to hit on tonight. But the number one thing is, first of all, of course, they won. Wow, yeah, what a shock. Series win. But the real thing that I wanted to talk about here, more than anything else, is the potential of injury. And we will see what is said post-game if we get any kind of update, on that here shortly from Joe Espada as to what has happened to Esau Pena. Obviously hit a big home run tonight. Was really part of the Astros victory. Has been about as, pivotal as it gets for this baseball team this season. This is a team that's got nothing out of Jordan this year. This has been their most important threat when it comes to pop all season long. This team would not be in a good place if they lose him. I mean, this lineup is, sketchy at best when it comes to being consistent as in terms of hitting with authority. I mean, really, it's been Pena, it's been Esau Pena, in moments of late, Altuve. Yainer Diaz had a nice game tonight, but he's had an atrocious season overall at the plate. And Christian Walker, who you expected to be great, has been the exact opposite of that all season long. So if this team is to lose Paredes, which it looked like, I mean, when a guy pulls up like that, it looked like, it's soft tissue stuff. It looked like it's a hammy or something, or a quad or whatever, something on that leg there that immediately made him pull up limp. And you don't love the reaction. You don't love when you walk gingerly back to the dugout. And you don't love that you have to leave the game immediately. Because when you put all those things together, that typically means injury that's going to miss some time. You hope and pray that we're all going to get the report that it is like cramps or muscle spasm or something. Not that they can't win games without him. They can. It just gets incredibly difficult to when you consider, again, if there's anybody that's been somewhat kind of consistent. I know that he is, a guy that gets a little streaky at times. But he has been their biggest threat in the lineup on a consistent basis. He does an incredible job of working counts, which is huge. He works pitchers all night long. And it would just be a bad blow. And don't forget, the defense at third base has been way better than I expected him. I mean, look, he's borderline all-star so far this season. It's a tough position, third base. And he's got every chance in the world at being in Atlanta, representing the Astros. His bat's been good enough. I mean, the guy's got an OPS over 800 this year. Closer to 850 than it is to 800. That's good stuff. They cannot afford to have him be out. It provides Jeremy Pena some protection right behind you. Not good. Hope for the best. And I think expect the worst based off the way that he ran out of that game tonight. Or ran down the first baseline tonight. Not feeling optimistic for me. Let's talk about Framber's odd night now. What a weird one. 5 innings, and he strikes out 12. 12. He got 15 outs, and 12 of them were via the strikeout. Just absolutely insane. He's one off of his career high. If he hadn't thrown a million pitches, he's gonna. If he pitched a normal Framber night where he gets to like the 7th, he's probably striking out 15 tonight. But then he was also giving up hits left and right. It's just weird. Weird night. All you need, of course, is for him to keep doing what he's doing. It's exactly what the Astros want and need out of Framber, what he gave you tonight, which is a good outing. Of course, you're going to want and need more innings, but I'm not going to get mad about a guy going 5 and giving up 2 and striking out 12. It's okay. Bullpen behind him was good. Dubin, King, Abreu, Hader. He's allowed to have a bad night. Converted another save. He's still perfect on the season. Okay. Gave up a home run, gave up a double, whatever. Got out of it, finished it. Had a protected 2-run lead, did just that. Astros win 4-3. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But yeah, Framber just kind of, didn't have the best of best nights when it comes to getting outs consistently. But then he had a ton of strikeouts. They're so weird. So that was good for him. Again, not good, Esau Pena. And it's going to be interesting, too. I failed to mention this before we get to our timeout here real quick. I mean, look, the Astros have some holes in this team. And if they want to give it a run in the American League this year, they're going to have to hope that he gets healthy quickly. And they're also going to have to go out and they're going to have to make some additions to the ball club somewhere if they're trying to win this season. If not, if they're just going to play out as is, I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't think that this is a World Series contender. I can say that, and also with the caveat of go back to 2023 and nobody in the world thought the Rangers or the Diamondbacks were World Series contenders and they played for the World Series against each other. It can always happen. You get in the dance, anything can happen. But does the Paredes thing change things too? They could have glaring holes at both corner infield spots quickly. Because yes, first base is still a big glaring hole over there. Because Christian Walker, I'm not even going to hold back on anymore. That guy stinks. And they had a night last night. I'm going to keep saying it though because the night before, I said he stinks, and then the next night he comes out and does big stuff. So hopefully, me saying he stinks, he comes out tomorrow night and goes 4 for 4. We'll see. Let's talk about. I do want to get something off of my chest from tonight's game. We'll also talk about the series coming up against the Twins. That is next here on the Locked On Astros Postcast after a 4-3 win and a series victory over the Chicago White Sox. All right, let's talk right now about FanDuel. NBA playoffs, they're winding down, but you know what? There's still some games left in those finals. And every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever now to play smart and win big. New to FanDuel? Well, perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. And final message before we get back to our Astros discussion. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with family or friends? Maybe it's game day. You suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it possible. Gametime makes buying fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Seat views in the app also there. I always tell you, make sure you check out that. Why wouldn't you want to know what your seat looks like when you get there? Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Astros winners tonight of the Chicago White Sox, taking the series with a final tonight of 4-3. The Astros now 38-30 on the season. Their lead in the American League West. I was just going to pull up my standings page as we were sitting there talking about our wonderful sponsors. Well, it's not updated yet on MLB.com. I will keep ranting about it every night. For a sports league, they probably have the worst website in the history of time. It is just atrocious how bad that website is. The Rangers, oh my goodness, they kicked the you-know-what out of the Twins earlier today. I did not see that. And that's the only team that played in the American League West. The Astros will gain a game over the Angels and the Mariners. That'll put them 4.5 games up over those two teams as we head into the weekend where the Minnesota Twins will be coming to town. We'll be talking about that series here coming up in just a couple of minutes. I did want to say one thing tonight, and this has been a trend. And I know that if you're a person that gets on the X machine, which is formerly Twitter, first of all, you can follow me right there, Connor Michael. Chandler Rome of The Athletic for years has been pointing this out. I don't know who it is. I really don't remember. I never really knew when I was in the media and at games and whatnot. Whoever is the official scorer at the ballpark is a joke. Absolute joke. They don't know what they're doing. They're not qualified to do their job. And tonight, they gave Jeremy Pena a hit on a ball that was chopped to third base on a play that the third baseman made an error. He misjudged where the ball was going, and then he made an error on top of it, and they went back and changed it to a hit later on. This is not the first time this has happened. This happens all the time. Later on, Victor Caratini smokes one. Ball takes a funky hop up and hits the first baseman in the chest. He wasn't able to field it. They rule that an error. What are we doing? It's a small little thing that is astounding. When you think about how this game is all, put together by stats, and we base players' careers and Hall of Fame status based off stats, and we have buffoons who have no idea what they're up there doing the official scoring. It's a joke. Pena's chopper to third, not a hit. That is not a hit. That is an error all day. And then to change Caratini's to a hit, it shouldn't have had to change it in the first place. It was a hit from the jump. Anybody with eyeballs could have saw it. You smoke a ball like that takes a funky hop and hits a first baseman in the chest, that's a hit. It got by him. He didn't mess up the play. The dirt did. It's a hit. I just don't get it. I don't know how you watch that in the moment and go, oh, yeah, that's an error. I saw it the minute it happened. That was a base hit the minute he hit that thing. What are you looking at? So I don't know what they're doing. I really, really don't. But they are not good at their job. At all. Whatever. Astros Twins this weekend. Final 3 games of this homestand before the Astros head out for, by the way, next week. Whew. We're going to try and tough it out every night. I think we're going to be able to pull it off. But man, oh man. It's going to be a rough week next week. Monday through Saturday. Not a single game that starts before 8:30 p.m. First 4 of them start at 9:05. I will always be subject to fall asleep and miss one of those games next week. If I'm going to miss one, I'll let y'all know. But Minnesota this weekend, 7-10, 3-10, 1-10 in this series. Colton Gordon tomorrow versus Chris Paddock. That'll be an interesting one. Gordon's got to, keep fighting for more starts. Paddock has been a guy that settled a little bit for the Twins, but he's gettable. He is definitely gettable. I think the Astros have gotten him in recent history as well. It's an important series against a team that's playing ball, the Twins, but they're a good team. They're a winning team. They got really hot there for a while. They won a ton of games in a row. So we'll see if the Astros, of course, beat them up there in Minnesota earlier this year. It was the first road series. They were able to take the series in that one. Of course, it'll be the visit of another former Astro to back to Houston. And I got to say, I think they did it last time. You shouldn't be booing Carlos Correa. I know he's on the opposing team. Why? He didn't leave here on his own will. I still don't get why people will boo former players that come back here who are literal franchise heroes. He's one of them. Don't boo him. If you're going to the game, don't do it. Don't be an idiot. That's my theme for the night. Like the official scorer who didn't know what he was doing on either the ball that Caratini hit that he originally ruled an error and changed to a double later on. That was a double from the start. Or the Pena ball where they gave him a hit on what was they ruled an error and then went back and changed it to a hit, which should never have been the case. Just don't be an idiot. That's what we're going with tonight. Astros weren't idiots tonight. They found a way to win. Real quick glance. Let me see if there was an update before we get out of here on Esau Pena at all. I am looking at the Twitter machine. I still can't call it X. It doesn't work for me. I don't see anything yet from anybody speaking to the media after the game. So hopefully it is better news than not. I'm going to go ahead and keep preparing myself for the worst of it, but we shall see. Join us again tomorrow night after Astros and Twins right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. You guys have a great rest of your Thursday.